What's that?
You don't need me to make you presenter or anything.
I think so. Yeah, because I guess I'm.
You're the organizer.
Hi, everyone. This is David Spinoza. We'll just wait a few more minutes for a few more people to sign in, and then we'll get started with the webinar. But thanks to everyone who's here already. This is looks like we have a really big group, so this is great. Can everyone hear me, by the way? If you can't hear me, please let me know. Either you can unmute yourself and let me know, or type. Okay, Barbara can hear me. Great. I guess if you couldn't hear me, you wouldn't be able to let me know that. Great. Thank you, Christy and Lois. Let's see, I'll try to share my screen with everyone. Okay, and can everyone see I think I just shared both screens with you all. But let me know if you cannot see the screens. Hi, Jennifer.
Hello.
And I was just saying, I think I shared my screen with everyone, but in case you can't see it, please let me know.
Okay, no, I'm good.
Oh, great. Okay. So I think we'll go ahead and get started. It sounds like everyone can hear me and everyone can see both screens, so everyone sees the PowerPoint and then the Mass Pro Bono website. So I think we can go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for coming today to the webinar. My name is David Spinoza, and I'm an AmeriCorps legal advocate with the Volunteer Lawyers Project. And today we're going to be talking about Mass Pro Bono. I know that everyone comes to Mass Pro Bono with different experience and different understanding about the website. So I'll try to keep this a mix of review, but also some of our updates. Also during the webinar, you can look at the my screen as well to see the website, or you can go to the website on your own on your computer. Also, feel free to ask questions throughout the webinar. Happy to answer them. We also have the chat open, so you can type in questions too if you'd rather do that. But really, it's so important to get your feedback for this resource, because that's how we continue to improve it. So we really appreciate all your communication on this. And with that said, I think we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so this is the agenda for today. As you can see, we're going to be reviewing Mass Pro Bono and the features, mostly going over the Pro Bono Opportunities Guide, which is where we get most of our traffic for the website. And this is where we keep our organizations in their listings. And then we'll go over how to add cases, how to add projects, so how to create content on Mass Pro Bono. We'll also go over some of the new features like the calendar sign up button, how to the integration between projects and calendars, so linking those two with maybe a training, linking a training with a clinic, and then we'll also go over how you can look at your profile and how you can personalize your profile, whether it's by subscribing to certain projects or favoriting organizations or projects as well. And then finally, we'll talk a little bit about what's next for Mass Pro Bono, and the main thing we'll talk about is the new feature of integrating Legal Server with our cases. So that will make it a lot easier for people to put cases onto Mass Pro Bono. If you use the Legal Server case management system, especially. Okay. Any questions before we move on? Great. All right. So, what is Mass Pro Bono? Mass Pro Bono is a website that connects attorneys, law students, paralegals, basically any legal professional who's interested in pro bono work with legal aid programs and projects across the state of Massachusetts. It's also a platform. It's also a platform for those legal aid organizations and programs to highlight their opportunities to volunteers. The site itself was built with funding from a technology initiative grant, so the TIG grant from the Legal Services Corporation, and VLP maintains it in partnership with Pro Bono Net. And Pro Bono Net is a national nonprofit that also manages the website and provides the template for Mass Pro Bono. And again, so Mass Pro Bono it's designed to streamline pro bono information and opportunities for volunteers interested in providing legal assistance to underrepresented people across the state of Massachusetts. And again, that's kind of what makes it unique, is that it's a statewide resource. When using the Pro Bono Opportunities Guide, users have the option of filtering their search by county. By adding projects and posting cases or events, organizations can increase their visibility in the volunteer community and give more clients access to justice. Mass Pro Bono's easy-to-use features allow contributing organizations to target even more volunteers for cases and projects. So now what we'll do is I'm going to take you to the actual website. So you can see on the other screen, this is the homepage for Mass Pro Bono. And first we'll look at the menu tab. So when you click the menu tab, this is kind of a directory for the whole site. So you see the volunteer opportunities. We'll click on that for now. But this is where you can see the Pro Bono Opportunities Guide. We have quick links for programs, and you see a drop down. So this is for people who are contributing to the website. So if you want to add a case, if you want to add a project, right? If you want to add content, this is where you would go to do that. We'll get into more detail about adding content a little later. This is also a helpful reminder for if you forget, a step or something in adding content, you can click this link, and that has a really good, quick explanation for how to add content. The quick links for volunteers section goes over for volunteers how they can use the website. It also has a how to use this site feature, which is great, as well as a link to the Pro Bono Opportunities Guide, links to cases, to projects, to the calendar. So again, this whole menu tab is just kind of a directory for Mass Pro Bono. And then I think you can make sure we see that. You can see I'm already logged in here in the top right. But I'll just log out really quickly so you can see this. If I wasn't, you would click this to log in. There's my login info, so I could just do that. You can also click this if you're not logged in to become a member, to get an account. So you'd click this link to become a member. You'd put your email address in and hit continue. And once you do that, there'll be some questions that it'll ask you. And it's really pretty straightforward. It doesn't take that long at all, and it's definitely worth it to become a member because you have access to more of the resources on Mass Pro Bono. So next thing we'll do is we'll get into the Pro Bono, I'll log in for now, the Pro Bono Opportunities Guide page. So And there are a few different ways you can do that, but for now we'll click the extensive listing of pro bono opportunities link. And here you see we have over 100 organizations that are partnered with Mass Pro Bono. So this is really a great resource for volunteers to kind of get a sense of how they can volunteer in whatever part of the state they're in. The filter section here shows you can filter your search by area of law. So if you're looking for consumer, education, housing, whatever it may be, you can filter your search that way. You can also filter it by who you'd be working with, who there are opportunities for, whether if you're a law student or a lawyer or a paralegal. You can filter it by county as well, which is really great. So I always use the example of if you're an attorney in Worcester and you want to find volunteer opportunities there, you can click that. You see community legal aid, they work out of Worcester, so we can click this link. And you see here it has a description of community legal aid. It shows that they represent individuals in Worcester County. And you can scroll down to get more information about the organization, as well as some of the projects that they offer. So if you were interested in doing a limited assistance rep at the family court program, you could click this link, and then you're in the project, and then all you have to do is click I'm ready to volunteer, and it sets up kind of an automated message or email that you could send to their contact volunteer coordinator. So you could put your name, email, all of this. You could leave the message the same, or you could change it. And this, again, is a really easy way for volunteers to reach out to organizations through Mass Pro Bono. Any questions about the opportunities guide before we move on? Great. Okay, and then the last feature, actually we'll also go over the calendar section. So this is our upcoming events. These two sections, the calendar and the Twitter feed, these automatically update. So on the homepage with the most recent information. So when we tweet something out of Mass Pro Bono on our Twitter account, it automatically shows up here. So you can see some of the recent tweets that we have on here. And then with the calendar page, this is where you can find different events that are coming up in the area. So let's take a closer look at that. So we'll click View More. And so we can see for the month of June, there are a lot of trainings coming up. So for example, we could look at, let's see. Oops, sorry. We could look at Intro to Guardianship of Minors. So this is a VLP training that's happening on Thursday from 4 to 6. We get the time, we get the location, we get a description. And we have a contact information for the person we want to reach out to. We have a sign up button here that takes you to where you could sign up for the event. We'll talk a little bit later about the new sign up button that Mass Pro Bono has through Pro Bono Net. But so that's, you can sign up that way. There's related projects. So if you're interested in this, it makes sense that, you might want to volunteer with our guardianship clinic. So those are connected in a really cool way. And I should say too about the Pro Bono Opportunities Guide, looking at the Mass Pro Bono reports that we have in Google Analytics, we get about 30 non-administrative visitors to our Pro Bono Opportunities page per day. So 30 visitors a day are looking at that page and trying to get an idea of how they can volunteer with organizations in Massachusetts. So it's really great. It's really important to keep your contacts up to date, to keep your listings up to date as much as you can, because it's a chance for volunteers to see what you're doing, and if they reach out to you all, we want them to reach out to the right contact person. Okay, and then also down here, I won't go into it too much, but we have again, trainings calendar. We have a resources section. The interview guides and checklist section is really good for volunteers that they might want more information if they're going to be going to a family law clinic and they want a refresher on how to on what to file for a divorce case or something like that. You can click the links here, and it's we have this for family law, we have this for guardianship and housing as well. So that's a great resource too on here. And then moving more to the posting side of things, so for more for the contributors to the website, I'm going to go over how to add projects. Okay. So quick links for programs. So I guess we'll start with adding a case. So we go here, and again, you'd need to be logged in for this, and you would need to be an administrator. So if you're with an organization and you're the coordinator, and you want to be the contributor for the site, then just send an email to myself or Barbara, and we can make that happen. But so to add a case, you would click here, add a case, and you would go through this information. You don't need to worry about the case number, but you could put the title for the case, description, posting date, all the information that has an asterisk is required. So you put that information in, and then make sure that you're selecting a topic. So if it's child welfare related, then you would click that, select that, send that down to signed, and then you'd hit submit once you have everything filled out, and then the case would be ready. For projects, it's pretty much the same thing. You go to quick links for programs, add a project. You go add project here, and that plus button to add a project. So you put the title, and then for the organization, so you'd put your organization here, and this is so that it'll go underneath in the pro bono listings page. It'll go under your organization. So if you're adding a housing clinic or lawyer for the day program, you'd put the title of that, and then if it's with the Volunteer Lawyers Project, you'd put that in the primary sponsoring organization section. Also, contact info, again, everything that has an asterisk would be required. If it's housing, you'd click housing on here and send that down, and then you'd hit submit, and that would create the project. For cases and projects, it's up to you if you want to make it. We recommend it, especially for projects, that they should be open to anyone, regardless of if they have an account with Mass Pro Bono or not. That way, just more people have access to it. And then with cases, it's really up to you. I would think it's okay for you to make a case public, because you're not really going to put, someone's personal information in when you're posting the case. And again, we just want to make it possible for more people to see these cases so that they can take them on. Any questions about adding cases, adding projects, or any content for that matter? Okay. I'm going to skip through. So these are the slides that we were just going over on here. We'll skip through these. Okay. So now we'll get into some of the newer features on Mass Pro Bono. So one of them is the calendar tool, or the event sign up, which is a calendar tool. So this is, like I was saying earlier, a chance to sign up directly through Mass Pro Bono for an event. Also the linking projects with calendar events. And then we'll get into a little bit with your profile, how you can subscribe and favorite projects and cases as well. So we'll start with the new calendar sign up feature. So let's go to the upcoming events. So we'll go to This was just sent today, actually, this seminar, Divorce Basics Training Seminar. So we click that. So if we wanted to add a sign-up feature for this, we would go into this edit icon, and we would scroll down. We see all the information for this, and we'd click Create Sub-Event. And then in here we would put, you could put in sign up, for example. And then you'd have to click this box that says Provide Registration Functionality. So you'd click that, and then you have to set a limit for how many people can sign up. So we'll just say 50 for now. You save that. And then, so remember that you save this in the sub event. So you save your sub event, and then we're still, overall in the page event. So we scroll down, and we have to click send on that. And there you see a sign up link for this training. So we would click that, and that takes us into the sub event page where we could sign up for the event. Any questions about the sign up button? Okay. And then the other calendar project integration tool, we'll go back to the calendar. We can go to, let's do the Guardianship of Minors event. So we've already linked this one, but so the way that we got this related project here was we actually went to the project section first. So for volunteers, we could do find a project. And go to County Suffolk. Oh, it's going to take longer than I thought. Probably do this faster by using the filters, but we're here now. So in the Suffolk Guardianship Clinic, so this is in the projects section, you would click that, and then you would go into, you'd click this edit icon, and when you click that, you'd scroll down to additional details. And what we did was we clicked, it asked you, do you want to display the events for this project on this area's calendar? So we clicked yes to that. This is basically saying, do you want to link this project to a calendar event? So we click yes to that. You would submit that, and then we'll just do that for now. And so what that does is if we go back to the calendar and we go to Intro to Guardianship of Minors, this event, and we hit the edit icon in here, if we go to related project or case, we would click in here, it would say choose one, and we would see that Suffolk Guardianship Clinic was available, so we'd click that one. And that's how you get the, that's how you connect the project with the calendar event. Any questions so far? Okay, and then the last thing, as far as new features that I'll show you is in the My Profile. So in this top right section next to your login, you can click My Profile, and what that shows you is you can edit your profile, you can edit your search settings, you can manage cases, edit case alerts. So this would be a subscription. So if you click this, for example, you would see you can subscribe to case alerts based on the topic or based on the county that they're in. You can decide if you want to get emails about new cases daily, weekly, monthly. You could subscribe, and then you did change, and then that would apply to your profile so that you would get an email weekly or monthly with new case alerts. And same thing, you can do the same thing for project alerts, and you can favorite different projects in organizations as well. So that is those are the new features that I wanted to go over. And then going back to the slideshow, briefly I want to talk about what's next for Mass Pro Bono. So we talked about the calendar event sign-up feature that is still kind of in the test phase, I believe, but for the most part, it's ready to go. The other thing that we're really excited about is Pro Bono Net is working on integrating legal server with Pro Bono Net, so that it's easier to transfer a case if you have it in legal server into Mass Pro Bono. So legal server, for those of you who don't know what that is, it's a case management system that a lot of organizations use to keep track of cases, and it'll make it a lot easier if we can put cases from legal server into Mass Pro Bono that way, because then you're not really repeating a lot of the information. You're just copy and pasting it into Mass Pro Bono. And then outside of that, I would just say we're just trying to spread the word as much as we can about encouraging organizations to utilize Mass Pro Bono, because again, I think I was doing our membership reports. We have over 1,500 members of Mass Pro Bono, and those are pro bono attorneys that are looking for volunteer opportunities. They're looking for projects and ways to get involved. We have in the last year over 16,000 page views, and also we're getting a lot of people who visit the site every day. So the more updated it is, the more cases are there, the more projects are there, the more likely those cases are likely to get referred out, and those projects are likely to have volunteers. So that's really my ask at the end of this, is to make sure that you're encouraging your organizations to use this resource as much as possible. And then before we end for questions, this is a great resource if you want to learn more about Pro Bono Net, which again is the organization that helps us run Mass Pro Bono, and they run statewide websites, legal aid websites as well. So if you want more information on that, definitely check out their website. And we're recording this webinar, so I believe I can send that out to everyone, and we can also send out the slides too, so you have this. And with that said, I thank you all so much for taking the time to listen to our webinar. And I'd love to stick around for questions if anyone has any.
Hi, this is Kathy McGrath. I do try to coordinate pro bono stuff at Liberty Mutual.
Yeah.
And so one question I have is, I know that when the site first got started, postings were put up, but again, it's kind of a chicken and egg problem, and some of the postings got old, and so then some of the organizations were like, do we want to take the time to post stuff if people aren't going to pick up those opportunities? So I guess the question I have is, do postings get taken down automatically if they get stale? How does that work?
When you say posting,
like if somebody,
yeah,
like a case, like when it gets
right.
taken, is it removed, or if it gets so old? I don't know, maybe if it's a training thing and the training opportunity has happened. I mean, how well positioned is the site as far as being able to, weed it?
Right. So I know for Barbara might know more about the cases exactly, but I know for trainings, for example, we have in the calendar our upcoming trainings for June, and then once the date passes, then they're up there, but really it's not going to show on the homepage. You're only going to see the trainings that are upcoming. Automatically creates those and puts either looks like seven most upcoming events, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the site actually automatically takes down trainings that have passed.
Okay.
And
How
Barbara,
about cases? When a case is taken, is that also, so that was
Yes,
just
as long as
something.
as long as it's marked as taken or closed. I forget what the exact word is, but yeah.
Okay, so it's the responsibility of someone who decides to take a case to remember to do that, I would assume, right? How else would the next
Or
person who looks at the site know?
well, or the organization posting it.
right?
It's also
Oh, okay.
something, yeah, we look at as well.
Yeah, I think I could be wrong, but I think that the admins have control of, I think, changing the status of the case. Is that right?
Yes, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so if a lawyer writes to the organization and says, I want that case, then that organization will take ownership of marking it as one that's been taken. Okay. Part of the reason I'm asking is, have you guys heard of an organization called Paladin? Ring any bells?
I haven't.
Because they're coming actually to do a little showcase at Liberty, and they are an organization attempting to make it easier for law firms and in-house operations to find out about pro bono opportunities and essentially kind of package up pro bono opportunities in a more user-friendly, site, I guess. Because I mean, what happens at Liberty, and I don't know about it, law firms, but an email goes out, and the feeling is that you'll get greater volunteer participation if it's delivered a different way. And so Paladin sounds like it's essentially doing a lot of what you guys do, except, they want to get paid for it. So, anyway, I just wondered if do they like connect to you to get your information? I was just curious.
I don't think we've heard anything from them.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Because I
right.
think, each program packages up pro bono cases in a slightly different way, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd be very curious to see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure if you Google them, I think I'll send you a link, but I think it's PALLADIN, I think. But
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Just FYI, yes, curious.
Yeah. Thank you. And it looked like Melissa typed in a question. But would the Mass Pro Bono listing keep client info confidential if coming from legal server? That's a good question. Barbara,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes. So it's it doesn't bring over the client's name. So it sends over a case number and then whatever blurb you give. So that's totally within your control, but there's a special tool in Legal Server for pro bono opportunities, like pre-conflict check. So it's no identifying information.
Yeah. Thanks, Barbara.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, I just have a quick question. Could you tell me what the difference will be between the Mass Legal Services site with respect to their training calendar and the Mass Pro Bono calendar? Is there going to be some overlap, and what do you see as the biggest differences?
I mean, the Mass Legal Services, their audience is legal aid advocates. So
Okay.
I think the calendar, I should just take a quick look at it, but I think those events tend to be either coalition meetings for legal aid programs or trainings for legal aid programs. We could post our trainings in there as well, but just different audiences.
So Mass Legal Services would be primarily for legal aid advocates, so kind of the legal services community of staffers versus a much larger community of pro bono attorneys who work in every single area who want to do a specific pro bono case or project.
Right,
Is that
right.
accurate? Okay, got
yes.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It also looked like, Melissa, you had asked, how can we list a training that's available online at any time? That's a good question.
Yeah, actually, there are quite a few of those on there. So there's a space to put, instead of a location, you put online, and there's even a place for a link.
Oh, okay. So you put the webcast
Yeah.
URL. Okay.
Yeah.
This is Melissa, thanks. But Barbara, would it appear on the calendar? How does it appear? Like if people look for it?
Yep. So anything that goes in as a calendar event appears both on that little widget on the home page. If it's, I mean, that's set to show the next 6 or 7. And then there's also just a link if people want to see the whole calendar. You can do a search if you're looking for a certain kind, certain subject. If it had that word in it, it would come up in a search.
Okay, great.
So yeah, in fact we have access to all the calendar events for every program that uses Pro Bono Net, as long as they choose to share it. And some of the programs that we post are webinars hosted by other places, since, yeah, you can be anywhere.
Thanks.
All right. Does anyone else have any questions or comments? All right. Well, if not, I can hang around for a couple more minutes. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it, and I hope you learned learned more about Mass Pro Bono and can pass that on to your organizations. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. That was fantastic.
Well, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
That was great.